So I recently did a 3D effect with kind of a glare shine on it. And when you tap in the corner of this layer, you see the glare that makes it a really convincing 3D effect, and there's a shadow that animates out as well. Well, this only works in the upper left corner, and I've been wanting to try it where you can tap in all the corners. So this is the dribble shot for the last time that I made an effect like this. But I'm back in Flinto, and I just created this really cool version similar to that, but it doesn't have the glare, but it has all the corners activated. And I went a little bit further than just doing each of the four corners, and I did the sides as well and the middle. So if you click the middle, it just pushes in. And it'd be cool to add the glare effect to this, but I think even as it is now, this is pretty cool and it's pretty fun. What's really nice is that I've assigned a pretty bouncy spring to this. So the animation actually continues for quite a while with each press. So if I press here, it takes a moment before it fully completes its bouncing. But because behaviors in Flinto for Mac are fully interruptible, you don't have to wait for the animation to finish, and you can click around really fast, and it's super responsive. So this is a great demo of that. It's a lot of fun. It makes it feel like you're really playing with a physical object here. So let me show you how I set it up. I started with a single photo, and I put it inside of a group, and I applied a behavior to that group, and I called it push. So I'm going to edit the behavior so you can see what I did. On the initial state, well, let me turn off the links actually first. So I just hit all the links. Here's all the different states I've got. Usually when you design a behavior, you first think about the states and then think about how you'll navigate between them. So I started out with all the states that I knew I would need. Got upper left, upper right, right. And for each of those states, I'm just adjusting the X and Y rotation, so the 3D rotation properties. So for right, it just rotates in the Y direction 10. And then for bottom right, it rotates in the Y direction 10 and the X direction -10. So you can see the X direction does that kind of movement. I've got one for bottom, bottom left, left, and center, which just scales the whole thing down. All right, so how do you navigate between these? That's the next thing that I thought about. So I'm going to turn the links back on, and you can see I've got 9 links here. The first one goes to upper left, and then this one goes to upper, this one goes to upper right. So it's all pretty natural. It was pretty easy to set that up. Didn't take very long. And these are all activated on touch down. So I did that all once, and then I went to upper left, and I drew one big link over the entire thing. And I made it so that the touch up gesture takes you back to the initial state, and the mouse out gesture, that's what the other one is, also takes you back to the initial state. And that's just in case you were to touch down here, and I'm keeping my mouse down. And when I go up, it goes back. But if I touch down and then drag my mouse out, that also goes back because I didn't want it to get stuck there. So once I had this, I just copied this link layer, went to the next state, and pasted it in here, because it's the same gestures and the same target. So it was really easy to just paste it into each of these states. And that was all it took. So a pretty cool effect. I could imagine making a button like this, and you could actually put a link over the top of the button, and when somebody tapped it, it would animate differently based on where they tapped it. That could be pretty cool, especially if you added the shine effect that I did in my dribble shot version of this. Maybe next time I'll set up the entire thing that way. But hopefully this sparks your interest and gives you a few ideas about what you can do with Flinto for Mac's Behavior Designer.